friends, it's Miss Santucci, and today I am reading Chapter 70 of The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. Chapter 70, A New Beginning. We don't see Mac for 2 days. When he returns, he doesn't talk about Stella. Mac says he is anxious to teach Ruby some tricks. He says the billboard is bringing in more visitors. He says it's time for a new beginning. All afternoon and into the evening, Mac works with Ruby. Ruby's feet are looped with rope so that she cannot run. A heavy chain hangs off her neck. Mac shows her Stella's ball, her pedestal, her stool. He introduces her to Snickers the poodle. When Ruby obeys Mac, he gives her a cube of sugar or a bit of dried apple. When she doesn't, he yells and kicks at the sawdust. When George and Julia arrive, Mac is still training Ruby. Julia sits on a bench and watches them. She draws a little, but mostly she keeps an eye on Ruby. Bob watches too. He's hiding in the corner of my domain under knot tag. It's raining outside, and Bob does not like damp feet. Ruby trudges behind Mac, her head drooping. Endlessly they circle the ring. Sometimes Mac slaps her flank with his hand. Suddenly, Ruby jerks to a stop. Mac pulls the chain hard, but Ruby refuses to move. "Come on, Ruby," Mac is almost pleading. "What is your problem?" "She's exhausted," I say to myself. "That's the problem." Mac groans. "Stupid elephant." Bob mutters, "Stupid human." "Walk, Ruby," I say, although I know she's too far away to hear me. Do what he says. "Walk," Mac commands. "Now!" Ruby doesn't walk. She plops her rump on the sawdust floor. "I think maybe she's just tired," Julia says. Mac wipes his forehead with the back of his arm. "Yeah, I know. We're all tired." He pushes Ruby with the heel of his boot. She ignores him. George looks over from the food court where he is wiping off tables. "Mac," he yells, "maybe you should call it a day. I'll clean up." Mac yanks on Ruby's chain. She's as anchored as a tree trunk. He pulls harder and falls to his knees. "That does it," Mac says. He brushes the sawdust off his jeans. "I am through playing around." Mac stomps into his office, and when he returns, he is carrying a long stick. The gleaming hook on its end is almost beautiful, like a sliver of the moon. It's a claw stick. Mac pokes Ruby with the sharp point, not hard, just a touch. I can tell he wants her to see how much it can hurt. I growl low in my throat. Ruby doesn't budge. She is a gray, unmoving boulder. She closes her eyes, and for a moment, I wonder if she might have fallen asleep. "I'm warning you," Mac says. He breathes out. He stares at the ceiling. Ruby makes a huffing sound. "Fine," Mac says. "You want to play it that way?" He draws back the claw stick. "No!" Julia cries. "I'm not going to hurt her," Mac says. "I just want to get her attention." Bob starts to growl. Mac swings. The hook slices the air just a few inches above Ruby's head. "See why you don't want to mess with me?" Mac says. He draws back the claw stick again. "Now move!" Ruby jerks her head, flinging her trunk toward Mac. She makes a noise that sends the sawdust scattering. It makes the glass on my domain shiver. It is the most beautiful mad I have ever heard. Ruby's trunk slaps into Mac. I don't see exactly where she strikes him. Somewhere around his stomach, I think, and I know he must be uncomfortable because Mac drops the claw stick and falls to the ground and curls into a ball and howls like a baby. "Direct hit," Bob says, smiling.